Okay, sorry about that. This is my part 2 of my trying to conceive vlog, video number 3, 5th day in my menstrual cycle. Sorry about the last one, it went over about 12 seconds. I wanted to share with you guys a little bit more about my background. In the past, even before I got pregnant, the first time, my husband and I realized, oh, we want to have a baby. We got together in May 25th of 2003. We got married April 30th of 2004, and we renewed our wedding vows through church because we did get married the first time through the Justice of Peace. Renewed our wedding vows on April 30th of 2005, so a year into our first year anniversary. And I got pregnant, I want to say in April, even though any pregnancy tests that I did do, they all came back negative. Even the date of my wedding it came up negative, and it was the worst thing ever. I wanted to surprise my husband with, because that was his birthday. April 30th is his birthday, and I wanted to surprise him with the best birthday gift ever. And unfortunately, the pregnancy test didn't come up positive. So a few days after, I want to say like the 5th of May. I do know it's the 5th of May because we were gonna go celebrate that day. I took a pregnancy test just because I've been feeling sick. I was working at Walmart at the time, and I had lunch, on my way back to work. I ended up throwing up everything, and I was wondering, well, what's going on? Is it a stomach flu or something? And I was like, well, I'm just gonna go and buy a pregnancy test. I did. I waited until I got home, waited until my brother-in-laws were there at home, because at the time my brother-in-laws lived with us and my husband. I waited for everybody to be home. I took the pregnancy test, called my husband into the bathroom, because right away it showed up positive within 30 seconds. And then he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. And then I went and I did another one because I bought a box of 3. So I did another one. I don't think I did it right because nothing came up. So I did the last one and it came up positive again. It took for like 2 minutes this time, I think, around there, and it did show. After that, he's like, well, let's not say anything and let's just go to Walgreens, which is down the street, and we'll buy another box. So we went to Walgreens. I asked the pharmacist, I told her, I was like, because I got the first response, or not the first response, the Clear Blue Easy, where it has the plus. Well, I didn't read the instructions real well because I was so excited, but one of the lines was very, very, very faint. So I'm like, okay, well, this is my first pregnancy test, so you know what to expect. I asked the pharmacist when I got there, I'm like, well, I took a pregnancy test. I took 2 actually, and they both came up positive. I wanted to take another one just to make sure. And she's like, oh, she goes, well, congratulations. And I'm like, well, thank you. And my husband got all excited, all teary-eyed, and then we went in and we explained to her that one of the lines was very faint. She goes, it doesn't matter if the line is faint, it can be barely visible, you're pregnant. You're pregnant. So if you still want to do a pregnancy test, I would suggest getting the Walgreens brand, which is a generic brand, because any brand is going to pick up that you're pregnant or not. So I was like, okay. So we got the cheapest one there. We got another 2 box. Went home, took both pregnancy tests. Both came out positive. Went to the living room. We were so excited. We were smiling. We were hugging, holding hands, everything. And then my brother-in-law looks at me, and he tells me, oh no. And I'm like, what? What's going on? He goes, you're pregnant, right? And I'm like, yes. How did you know? He goes, we kind of knew because we've been having dreams for the past month that you were pregnant. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, I didn't have any signs, anything like that. I don't know when it happened. And then he's like, yeah, we're happy for you guys, and we hope for nothing but the best. Well, it was great. I went to the doctor, and they did confirm it again. And as well as when I had, let's see, that was the 5th of May, and on the 24th of May, I was having some like cramping, slight cramping. It got to the point where I couldn't sleep at night. It was dull, but I was too scared to sleep at night. And when the next day, May 24th, 2005, I went to the emergency room. They checked me. They wanted to check the baby's heartbeat just to make sure that the baby's okay. And they did an ultrasound. It showed that the baby was 8 weeks. And they did a vaginal one because they couldn't get it with the other one. And I kept telling the technician, because it felt like she was jabbing me, and I kept telling her I'm having some pain, and she's like, well, it's normal, nothing to worry about. She turned on the monitor so we can hear the heartbeat. We only heard it for like 2 seconds, but tears came to my eyes and came to my husband's eyes. And after that, she's like, everything looks good. I'll have the doctor come in and talk to you, and then we can get you discharged. Doctor came in. The doctor said that my baby's heartbeat was 142 beats per minute, and it was okay. It's a little on the low side, and he wanted me just to go home and relax. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go home and relax. By this time, I had quit my job already because it was too stressful, and I was lifting heavy packages. I was lifting cribs and all that, and I couldn't do anymore. I didn't want to do anything to jeopardize my baby. So I went home, relaxed, stayed in bed for 2 days. After that, I felt like it was time for me to get up and go. You know, get up and just do my normal stuff. Cook, clean, do everything that I've done in the past. Hold on 1 second, let me check the time. Okay, I got about 3 minutes. So I'm gonna try to make this last part quick. What happened was on June 23rd, no, 23rd, I went into my midwife because I had a second appointment, and she went and told me, I told her what happened. The doctor in the emergency room told me he was going to call my doctor, and I tried to get a hold of her, and she never got any of my messages. So I went and let her know what was going on. She tried to get a baby's heartbeat. She couldn't, and she's like, well, it's very early. All she did was just the Doppler. She goes, it's very early, we probably won't be able to hear it anyways. So I'm like, okay. And then I let her know what was going on, and I told her when my baby's heartbeat was 142 beats per minute. He told me to go home and relax, and I did for 2 days. And then after that, I got up. I didn't do strenuous work. I just cleaned around the house, I cooked, and that's it. I would be back in bed. Due to my brother-in-laws, that they were always taking care of me, thankfully. So she looked at my chart. She's like, okay, well, what I'll do is, because nothing's in your chart, I will talk to the emergency room doctor that attended you, look at your file, and then give you a call back. So I'm like, okay, well, she's like, if anything, I will give you a call back tomorrow or later on today, so that tomorrow you can do an ultrasound. So I'm like, okay, so that's good. At least she's worried about it. That's what I kept thinking, and I didn't get, you know, too emotional or anything like that. So my husband and I just went home. Hold on 1 second. You know what? I'm gonna do a part 3 of this story. Okay? So I'll see you guys in about a few seconds.